Del Webb has 4 communities selling on the Gulf Coast right now, and the on-site sales rep at each one of those Del Webbs is going to tell you that theirs is the best place for you. I know that pitch cold because I used to sell for Del Webb for 6 years and I was a top rep for them. Now I work for you on the buyer side. So I'm doing something today that they won't do for you. I scored all 4 of the Del Webbs on the same 4 pillars. 10 points per pillar, 40 total. Location, amenities, overall vibe, and value. So no favorites here, no fluff, and yes, I am telling you the one I would also think twice about. So this is your scorecard that the model home will not hand you. Trenton Miller, the realtor, found your place. I'm going to count down from number 4 to number 1. Here we go. Let's get into it. The pillar scorecard again are location, amenities, vibe, and value for a total score of 40 points. At number 4, I have Del Webb River Reserve. So number 4, Del Webb River Reserve. And also, before anyone freaks out, last place here is still a really, really good community. First to last in this list is only about a 5-point difference. So these are all really great Del Webbs, but I want to be honest with you and give you my take on it. And remember, these are just my opinions, so your take and what's important to you is going to matter the most. So for location for River Reserve, I'm giving it a 5, and it's the honest knock on River Reserve. It isn't down in the Parrish Lakewood Ranch corridor like the other 3. It's up in Spring Hill, which is north of Tampa, off of State Road 52. You're about 40 minutes from downtown Tampa, 55 with traffic, and you're roughly about 50 minutes to the airport as well. And those popular white sand Gulf beaches are close to an hour and 15 minutes away. So the Nature Coast water, of course, is a lot closer, but not that resort beach that most of you guys are picturing when you think of Florida beaches. And the area right around is still filling in. So you're definitely going to be in your car for going to dinner or a real downtown. You're definitely going to have to drive a little bit. But if being near Sarasota or the beach is your thing, this one's just not going to be it. But if you want that quiet nature and the lowest price on the list, keep listening. So amenities, I'm giving River Reserve a 7.5 here. The clubhouse is called The Lodge, and it's the heart of the entire place. Inside, you'll get a great room they call Red Rock Hall, a bar and grill called Cote River Tavern, a multi-purpose room, and a really modern-looking fitness center. Outside, they're going to have obviously a resort-style pool, a separate resistance pool, and a possible fire pit as well. The part that I liked most, though, about River Reserve's amenities is the 2.2 miles of walking trails and boardwalks running right through the conservation in the community. It's not the biggest amenity center on the list, and the square footage is going to be around that 17,000 mark, but the design of the actual building itself is nice as well. It's very modern, it feels brand new, and that beats out all the dated centers that are out there, not necessarily in these new Del Webbs, but in existing 55 plus. So overall vibe, this is where River Reserve earns it back. I'm giving overall vibe an 8. Those 2+2 miles of trails and boardwalks, they wind through the native plants and the real Florida wildlife. And I really think that earns their keep because it's really cool vibe once you get there. And a lot of the home sites in this community back up to conservation, nature, or water. So the landscaping inside the community is very sharp. The architecture, very contemporary, and pulling through those gates after you drive from work, home, or wherever you were, it really does feel like you escape the noise and are coming home. So if your idea of retirement is quiet, green, and tucked into nature, this is definitely the strongest vibe on the list for that. At value, I'm giving them a 9. So this is obviously their highest single pillar score, but this is some of the best priced product in any Del Webb in the state of Florida. Base prices are right around the 300 mark, and the base price at the high point runs right at about the 600 mark on their largest plan. So if your top priority is a brand new Del Webb without overpaying, this one's going to be for you. So it's best for the buyer who wants the lowest entry price and quiet nature settings. And they don't need Sarasota, a big city, or a beach right next door. All right, at number 3 on the list, we have Del Webb Sunchase. So number 3, Del Webb Sunchase. This one was 1 point ahead of River Reserve. I'm going to start off, let's do location. Location, I would give Del Webb Sunchase a 7.5. It's in Parrish, but it's on the eastern side off of State Road 62. It's a little further from the highway, so some of you will love that. And the trade is you're using your car a lot, so you're not going to be going out of the community and actually golf carting out of this one. Call it about 55 minutes to Tampa International, around 45 minutes to Sarasota and Bradenton, and roughly 50 minutes to the beaches at Anna Maria Island. You're still in a good range to Lakewood Ranch and Well, and a lot of the new Parrish growth and development. And just add about 10 minutes versus Explore by Del Webb for basically anywhere you're going. In terms of the amenities here, I have to give them a solid 7.5. The clubhouse is Solera. It's 18,000 square feet with a private bar and grill called the Beechwood Tap, a fitness center, a movement studio, a golf simulator lounge, and other gathering rooms inside the building as well. Outside, you've got a resort-style pool with lap lanes, covered pickleball, bocce courts, and they're putting in a green, a yoga lawn, cabanas, fire pits, and a dog park as well. They're also going to have a community garden, walking trails. So, that's a serious package. A lot of amenities here, and it lands at a 7.5 only because Catalina and Explorer do actually go bigger. So, against most communities anywhere, this is very, very high end. But again, we're comparing against these four, so I have to be honest and fair. So overall vibe for Del Webb Sunchase, I'm giving Del Webb Sunchase a solid 7. Because Sunchase sits on the eastern edge of Parrish, surrounded by what feels like a little bit more open country. So you come in off a 2-lane road and there's more breathing room, there's fewer crowds, and you're removed from the Parrish traffic. A lot of people will love that tucked away feeling, but the honest knock is inside the actual community, I do feel like the landscaping could be beefed up and the entry doesn't really grab your attention the way Catalina's and the other surrounding Del Webbs are. And it does feel a little bit more rural than the polished other areas. But the second you're through those gates, you do know you're in a Del Webb. Everything looks very nice. The construction's nice. The landscaping on their homes look really good. But that's my overall vibe score. Value. I'm giving value at 8.5 here for Del Webb Sunchase, and this is the reason to watch this one because base pricing starts in the low 300s, and honestly, it tops out right at around $625 on their largest plan. So I think Del Webb Sunchase is really going to position itself as the more affordable Del Webb in Parrish, even a little bit under Explore that's in the same town. So brand new, good location, new amenities, strong incentives. Who's this going to be best for? It's going to be best for the value buyer who wants a brand new Del Webb in Parrish and likes being a little bit removed from the traffic. All right, at number 2 on the list, I have Explore by Del Webb. Number 2 is Explore by Del Webb, and let's start with location. I am giving Explore by Del Webb an 8 for location. Because Parrish, honestly, it sits in a good spot. You're about 45 minutes to Tampa, around 35 to Sarasota, Bradenton, and close to 40 to 45 to the beaches at Anna Maria Island without traffic, which makes it the easiest beach run on this list. Also, this is the first gated section of North River Ranch on Moccasin Wallow, and North River Ranch is the most established of the newer communities on that Moccasin Wallow corridor. So Parrish, the town's infrastructure is a little bit behind right now, but it's all in the works. And I think within about 5 years, you're going to feel that Parrish is a completely different place. So for Explore Del Webb, amenities, I am giving them a solid 9. And this is where Explore swings really big. The clubhouse is called the Foundry. It's going to be 17,300 square feet in the main building, and that's paired with a wellness center that they call the Wellspring. That's going to have infrared saunas and a cold plunge. The headline, though, is the zero entry resort pool with lap lanes and a lazy river. No other Del Webb on this list has a lazy river or cold plunges. It'll also have an indoor and outdoor bar and grill, a game room with a golf simulator, a movement studio, a full fitness center, outdoor exercise stations, covered pickleball, a putting green, fire pit areas, and walking trails. So honestly, because this is one of the first Explore by Del Webb communities in the country, I am expecting for them to build this like it's a flagship, and they're going to be spending the money accordingly. I have a feeling this community is going to look very sharp from a landscaping perspective, so keep that in mind as well. For vibe of Explored by Del Webb, I'm giving them a 7.5. And here's the one I told you that you'd want to think twice about. Explored by Del Webb is not a 55 plus community. That's the headline here, and it's the catch that some of you will actually miss. So if you came here picturing a classic age-restricted Del Webb, grandkid hours, a quiet adult community, this is going to be a different beast. It's open to all ages, so families can move in, and that lazy river and pool can feel more like a resort than necessarily a retirement community. So if you want the amenities without the age limit, you're going to love it. If you specifically wanted 55 plus, think hard before you sign. So I'm holding the vibe at a 7.5 only because I grade against other Del Webbs in this comparison. Value. I'm giving Explored by Del Webb a 7.5. Base homes right now start in the mid 300s and climb well past the 600s, with the largest plans listed at around $740 base price. It's going to be one of the higher price communities in Parrish. The early pricing and incentives right now are good. Right now, they're offering $50,000 towards flex cash, which is design or closing costs. And for what's included in the base price, I do feel like that price is pretty solid. The only reason it's not higher is the next community in the same town, which is Sunchase. They're going to come in a little bit cheaper than Explore. But I think this is going to be best for the buyer who wants the newest, most over-the-top amenity and doesn't care about the age restriction and the 55 plus feel. Number one on the list, I have Del Webb Catalina. Let's start off with location. I'm giving them an 8.5 for location. You're in Lakewood Ranch. It's the number one selling multi-gen master plan community in the entire country. The infrastructure is excellent. You're near medical centers, restaurants, grocery, and the whole entire place is very well manicured. The roads, the schools, the parks, the libraries, it's all planned and it all makes sense. And you're surrounded by communities full of people with similar values, similar interests, and overall, it just feels like a good spot. In terms of where it's at, figure about 25 to 30 minutes to Sarasota or Bradenton, and around an hour to hour 15 to Tampa International, and about 45 to 55 minutes to the Gulf beaches. The one honest negative is there is a drag strip near the community. It doesn't run every single day, and there's plenty of residents who have already moved in and don't mind it, but it is there, and you should know about it going in. Again, I want to make sure I'm being totally transparent and honest with you guys. All right, for the amenities, this is where they excel. I'm giving Del Webb Catalina a 9.5 for amenities. It's the highest score on the entire board, and it's not even close. The clubhouse is going to be around 35,000 square feet, anchoring a 15-acre resort campus that sits on the edge of a 70-acre lake. Inside, you have Horizon Grill, a real on-site restaurant bar, a state-of-the-art fitness center, aerobics room, a wellness center with saunas, spa-like changing rooms, a golf simulator, and a classic arcade. Outside, you're going to have a heated resort pool with a spa, resistance pool, poolside cabanas, a fire pit lounge, 5 tennis courts, 4 bocce courts, a putting green, dog parks, and a community garden. And the one I keep coming back to, though, in Catalina is 12 pickleball courts, 8 of them covered, with a dedicated pickleball facility and pro shop. Covered courts in Florida heat are a game changer, and almost no one else out there has them, but most of this is going to open in late 2026, early 2027. All right, vibe for Del Webb Catalina. I'm giving them a solid 9. The second you come through the manned gate, you can tell they spared no expense. The landscaping, the exterior elevations on the homes, the resort-style campus on the lake, it all delivers that resort at-home feel that not every community can fully pull off. With over 12 miles of trails and more than 100 acres of preserve woven through 735 total acres, it manages to feel both polished and green at the same time. All right, for value in Del Webb Catalina, I'm giving them a 7.5. Base homes, the villas start at around $356, and the larger floor plans can climb into the millions, but this is definitely the most expensive Del Webb out there. There's no way around that. But measured against everything else that's for sale in Lakewood Ranch, the price is right in line with what's right next door. So you're definitely paying the Lakewood Ranch premium for the best location and the best amenities on the list. I would say this community is best for the buyer who wants the top location, the biggest amenity package, and is willing to pay that Lakewood Ranch premium. So here is where they all land. Catalina takes it at 34.5 points. Explore was right behind at 32 points. Del Webb Sunchase at 30.5. Del Webb River Reserve at 29.5. And to be honest, it was a very tight spread. All of these communities are very good. And the ranking was never about if Del Webb itself is good. They all are. It's about which one fits the way you actually want to live when you move into your next Florida home. So which one is right for you? It comes down to the pillar that you actually weigh the most. If it's value, then look at River Reserve and Sunchase. If it's purely location, maybe it's Catalina. If it's amenities and you're open to all ages community, then it could be Explore. If it were my money and I wanted the safest long-term bet, I'd probably try and pay up for Catalina. If I wanted the most house for the least amount of money, I would look hard at Del Webb Sunchase. But honestly, your situation is the only one that actually matters. So when we go over our buyer call and have our buyer strategy session, we're going to look at what pillar is most important to you. This is just a general guide to give you guys a feel and at least an outside opinion of what I think about these. Now here's the part the builder's reps aren't going to tell you. Buying new construction without a real estate agent puts you behind the 8 ball in a couple different ways. Number one is you miss out on the maximum amount of information going into the negotiation. I know when the builders need these sales. I know how their month has gone so far. And honestly, those pain points that makes a builder want to give you extra incentive or hold back on it. And a lot of time it's the timing of when you offer, how you offer, and everything that goes into a full and complete offer. That's where I can help you right off the bat. Hopefully get more incentives than what is published. Number two is after the contract is signed, the process really begins. That's where I get to work as well, ensuring that your build is built to the highest possible quality standard that you expect and I expect as well. Del Webb does a great job, but like anything, it's always good to have someone in your corner during that process, making sure that everyone is keeping their end of the bargain. So let's do this. If you wouldn't mind, scan this QR code here or go to foundyourflorida.com. Let's set up a 15-minute buyer strategy call where we just talk about what's most important to you, where do you want to live, and maybe it's not a Del Webb, maybe it's something else out there. I have plenty of info, can give you my buyer strategies, and a plethora of other information. I'm here for you guys, hoping to make this process for you as easy as possible. If you're watching from out of state, I get it. I moved here 10 years ago from Buffalo and knew nothing about the area. And I would have loved to have someone to kind of give that insider knowledge about not only how to buy new construction, how to negotiate, but what the heck are any of these towns even actually like? What's that daily living look like? So please reach out to me. Would love to help you guys. And if you wouldn't mind, like and subscribe, send to your friends, neighbors, anyone who's interested in any of the communities that I go over. Would love to help you guys. Signing off. We will see you next time. And which Del Webb would you actually move into? Put it in the comments. All right. Thank you guys.